How are we doing, guys? We'll welcome the guys in. We'll get us all in here. Just quickly, this was week 18. I even saw a lot of people when they came to reviewing this slate, talking about the slate. They were only talking about the playoff implications and like the meaningful games. And to be honest with you, I think we only had like one meaningful game on this actual slate. Now, I thought it was kind of cool how they broke it down where they had the Monday night, game and some island games that made it feel special. But it made like the actual main slate very difficult to play. And we'll show the lineup just for transparency purposes. I never want to hide our results. It's not that we lost a lot this week, or not this week. We lost this week, but we lost a lot this season. Where I thought like, oh, we had a chance and we had good lineups. This is just week 18. I didn't think there was anything to take from this week really, outside of when I was watching. It was pretty much just watching for injuries. Did you guys notice anything that you thought was worth mentioning?
No, it was like preseason football, but the defenses tried a little harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing really, really worth mentioning is that might have been like the greatest stakes on red zone in history. Like red zone had a slate of just so many important things.
That's true. To give red zone like 7 morning games and then still have 5 or 6 afternoon games, like that was crazy red zone.
And they almost all had some sort of playoff seeding implications. That was it was you can't write it better.
I do say I like how they split the afternoon and the 1 o'clock slate. I wish we would get that more in like a meaningful week because I thought it created.
I think it was a little too much football. Like I always watch my way I watch it is I watch the Patriots game alone and then I'll tune into everything else after. I will, whatever time the Patriots is, I completely ignore that slate and just watch my Patriots game. And there was so much football I missed this week. Granted, it wasn't great football, but I hate missing football.
It really wasn't. Even the Trevor Lawrence stuff, the game that you knew would be like meaningful and like the stats would actually be valuable and like, okay, I can stack this game. It's like everyone knew that. Like the cat was out of the bag there. So it was like you had to stack it specifically right, and then you had to get enough right. I think it's a fun slate to dive into, but I think this week, this year specifically, week 18 had the least amount of things on the line. And it even seemed like coaches didn't care about incentives the way they had in the past. I think coaches still cared about some milestones, but outside of the incentive wasn't even really a big talking. It was a big talking point leading into the week, but actual outcomes, I didn't think it affected much.
Yeah, I think like the biggest incentive that was the hardest to reach that actually got there was Diggs. Diggs made a lot of money this week, but so I feel like a lot of the games this week were deciding seeding, so they were kind of playing games that somewhat mattered, didn't really matter, but still mattered in some way. And like we saw the Rams just sell out for a Stafford MVP this week.
Yeah, which I didn't see coming.
That's something. Yeah, that's something. In hindsight, I feel like that's a miss, because they've been selling out for that MVP all season. To not sit there and be like, "Oh, they're going to continue to do that," seems a little crazy now.
And I'm not the biggest projection guy. I think that's more Gov's lane, but I was paying attention. A lot of people were on Puka Nacua, and I'm just like, I don't think they're going to play a whole slate. Because if they were playing a whole slate, I think I know I would have touted Puka this week with Gov when we basically did that 2-man slate.
Puka, Parkinson, it would have been a great way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying.
And I was always on the mindset that the Rams were going to play everyone because especially knowing what happened on Saturday, I'd much rather play the Panthers in the playoffs than have to go to Philly. Sorry.
And that's how it is. Donnie, I wish you could have stuck around for our lineup build because you might have convinced me of that because I think I played Puka more. He is one of my most played DFS players in history. It's just I didn't think they were going to push, and they did. And then, we even saw with seeding, I thought I wanted to play some Collins. I thought Nico Collins was a good play. I thought he was the one good play.
I paid for Nico, and then late scratch. I know we both were kind of scrambling when that happened.
Yeah, But that's the thing, Donnie. They took out C.J. Stroud. They took him out of the game, and that game's supposed to still mean something. It was a bizarre week 18.
No. It did, when they took Stroud out, it didn't mean anything.
Okay, fair enough.
Because they knew the Jags were going to win, so they couldn't jump the Jags.
I see.
So they took Stroud out because the Jags were up by 30. If it was a close game, Stroud stays.
And that's just one of those things that you gotta. These guys are playing at the same time. A lot of times we saw that with the Commanders and Eagles game. The Bears kept pushing, so that's actually what almost got us back in this game. Loveland basically did all of his work in the second half to come back to this lineup. It was just weird because we got the Lions at points in this game where they pushed, but they never pushed together. Like Loveland was failing in that first half, and Gibbs got the touchdown. And then Loveland comes on with this big second half, and it was just like, oh, we're not going to get any more Gibbs. They were like, hey, let's run David Montgomery, even though we haven't done that all season. So it was week 18 for you. Did you have any sweats? Did you have anything worth mentioning?
Not a thing. Nothing.
Yeah, the biggest.
I played light. A couple of dudes didn't get touchdowns that I thought would. I hit on Ramondre. Ramondre was good.
Look, the Gov's biggest sweat on Sunday was the Saints and Falcons game. Let's be honest. Where it was his Panthers going to make the playoffs.
It wasn't even a sweat. I resigned myself 3 or 4 weeks ago. We don't have a pass rush. We shouldn't be in the playoffs. To be fair.
To be fair, you're not wrong, but they're in there, damn it, and we all know what the Panthers do anytime you expect them to lose.
And that actually helps. Now Bryce Young gets a playoff game. Mm-hmm. They get the feel of it, even though it's the early Saturday game, so it's just another Saturday game for him.
I was going to say that was actually the exciting part. We talked about it at the end.
Now, to be fair, they get an extra day of rest than the Rams.
That's true.
It's true.
And if the Rams win, they're giving Stafford an extra day of rest against the rest of the league.
Yes.
I know what you're doing.
I'm shocked, though, because we are, waiting on if Devontae Adams plays this week, and it's interesting that they put him on the early slate instead of pushing it to the last second trying to get Devontae in there.
I did have some success this week because we talked about it at the end of our show last week of how you were going to play some showdowns. There was still the Saturday slate to attack. There were still ways to make money, and luckily I did that. Now, coming into the playoff week, I already said my favorite slate I looked ahead was the 6-gamer. I just feel like when you put more games on there, there's going to be variance. There's going to be people overstacking certain playoff outcomes they want to have happen, whether it's their favorite team or things like that. So I really like the 6-gamer, but I'm going to guess you're going to try to attack this more from a showdown perspective, right? You're going to probably play the showdown for all of them. Donnie, for example, your Patriots are in the playoffs, so maybe the showdown works best for you because you know that Patriots.
I will 100% be playing that. It's a Sunday night game. Anytime the Patriots
I'm probably just going to play showdowns all weekend, to be honest.
Just play all
showdowns? Yeah. All showdowns. I'll just play all showdowns. I'll look at them individual games and just play all showdowns. Because that's what I'm going to have to start doing. So I might as well get one big weekend of doing it, and then it'll be 4 games a week, and then 2 games, and then the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I get that mentality.
Well, and then you get to figure out what captain's your favorite captain.
That's a good point.
I'll get to look at pricing as we get up to the Super Bowl for each team. Yes, it will get. All of those things are correct.
Well, I was thinking we don't normally tell the people a lineup construction or what we do early in the week. So I thought this would be an interesting point to do this. I thought about playing the 6-gamer and then looking at the 2-gamer and the 3-game. And actually, it so often when I looked in the lobby at least, the 6-gamer and the showdowns had the most money up at top. So it seems like
they probably have the best contests. Yes.
Yeah. So if you do want to play all the contests, or the majority of a larger slate, I think the 6-gamer is the way to go. Or what Gov is doing, where it's you're going to specialize in all of them, and then all you got to do is hit on a couple of them. I hit on the Panthers Bucks game, and then I really won a lot on the props between the Steelers and the Ravens just because that was so back and forth. That ended up paying for the week. So really, you just got to take shots on goal and then have convictions. I think that's the way to do it.
So
I
think a good thing to look at early on in the week is like, what are the spreads showing? What are the over-unders? Just so we can consider game environments. I know we're not going to build a lineup, but just to get ahead of ourselves,
we can do that.
I want to just see what the over-unders are at and what game environments we personally like.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. It actually moves quite a lot because I even placed some bets on Sunday because I was afraid it was going to move. Especially, I got the Houston Texans number, I believe at 3.5, and I thought for sure that would move. I will say the Rams, for example, with Carolina Panthers, it opened at 9.5. It moved up to 10. Now it's at 10.5. So it's had a little bit of fluctuation. Was there anything you guys wanted to highlight in terms of the spreads? Are you shocked by anything? Was there anything that really stuck out to you?
I am shocked. My biggest, what the hell is this, is that the Packers are somehow favored against the Bears when the Packers haven't won a game in 2 months. Or, sorry, a month. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
Buffalo favored at Jacksonville. Also.
Yeah, there's we are really, the books are saying things that I don't believe, and I don't know if that's an edge in my side or if it's maybe I just have a blind spot.
I will bet the Jacksonville Jaguars in a money line and a spread. I will bet them to basically cover or beat Buffalo at some point. I just feel like that number is going to get better. But I'm with you, guys. I think Jacksonville has proven they are the better team. They are the more complete team. I think everyone's just afraid of Josh Allen because he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But he's carrying a very bad Buffalo team.
I did send Logan this earlier, but there was a metric I saw of every team's biggest red flag going into the playoffs, and I think this is a red flag that a lot of teams or a lot of bookies especially are scared of, is the Jags lead the league in penalties. That's not a good thing. So if the Jaguars lose, it's probably going to be their fault, and that makes sense considering how we look at them.
It is true, but I don't think they're getting enough respect. They are a really good defense.
Sloppy teams don't get respect.
Is it rough to say I still want to bet the over in that game at 52?
I think it makes a lot of sense to want that.
Like, the way the Jags have been playing, you pencil them in for 28 to 30. And Josh Allen will do his best to keep up if he doesn't win. So they're scoring almost the same. So if they both score 28 to 30, you're already at 60.
Yeah, I'm with you, Gov. I like the over there, but I actually think it might go, people will bet the under for some reason, and we could see some moves. That's why I'm waiting.
This would be weird. Could both defenses show up when they haven't really, Jacksonville's defense has been okay, but not great. And Buffalo's sort of been the same, okay, but not great all year.
My weird thing is, I don't know why, but I trust Trevor Lawrence in a big game. I feel like he's played in a lot of big games in his life, whether it's high school, college. I feel like I trust him enough. I know he's even
looked literally his third, maybe his second or third playoff game, if at all.
It's his second playoff or third playoff game. I think he's 1-1, and he came back against the Chargers. That I just feel like Trevor Lawrence can step up that one.
I'm biased because I've always been a T-Log guy, but he's playing at an all-time confidence high right now. He's running the ball. That Cohen offense has done him wonders. You can definitely tell.
He's never ran like this before. This is the first time since college he's been moving the way he's moving, and it's great to see.
Yeah, other than that, I agree with all the rest of the over-unders on the games, but that one I could see even going higher.
Yeah. See, I'm glad I got Houston at 3.5 because I think that half point in that Houston game is huge because I could see the Steelers pulling out some voodoo magic and keeping it close and somehow scratching out a win, but I can't see them beating the Houston Texans by more than 3.
I heard something interesting this morning. I think Mike Tomlin's undefeated in Monday Night Football or close to it, essentially, and they did put him on Monday night, and I don't know if that's why it's 3.5. I feel like the Texans should be favored, though. I mean, the Texans are still pretty good at football.
I mean, it went back down to 3, but I'm glad I got it at 3.5 because I don't understand.
3.5 is a great number. 3.5 is amazing. Even if you pushed at 3, I still like 3.
And I get that Houston's offense has been bad, but like that's the thing is the Steelers' offense hasn't really been great either. So even if you were to say like, oh, we're gonna get a defensive game, it's gonna be just a sloppy, magical, like gritty kind of football game. The 3.5 is valuable in that sense.
I feel like San Fran plays Philly or Dallas in the playoffs every goddamn year.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do. I'm very excited for this.
For real.
I'm really, really excited to see the Chicago-Green Bay game. I think Chicago will probably win that game, but I just think the stories that come out of it is going to be awesome. I love seeing the cheese graters. I love seeing the cheese heads.
It should be fun.
It's all
because of my work. The only game I don't get to see is the Carolina game.
I'm upset about that.
I'm also.
Yeah, I agree.
You couldn't have given Carolina and the Rams just any other slot.
And
dude, they deserve any other slot. You're lucky they didn't play on Tuesday, all right?
They could be the early Sunday game. Like, what? Fuck Buffalo and Jacksonville.
Honestly, I thought they would want to showcase Matthew Stafford in the MVP, though. I thought he might have a chance to get one of those marquee Sunday slots just because the MVP race. I thought maybe Drake May and him would be on the same day, and it'd really build that story. And I'm like, oh no, it's the Panthers. They're probably just gonna stick them on the first game, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, also to be fair, the votes are already in, and how much is it really gonna do? It's just one of those weird things. Once the votes are in, it doesn't really matter. The 1-yard merchant Matthew Stafford. 46 touchdowns with an asterisk. Should be 33. No, I'm kidding. I love Stafford. I love Stafford. I don't care what Winston.
He's my former quarterback. He's been in the league forever. You're a young guy. You still love Stafford, but I don't know who should win. One of my betting, one of the betting groups I follow was people make this mistake where they're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the futures or the awards market. I'm gonna bet on who I want to win MVP. He's like, you're not betting on who you want to win MVP. You're betting on who you think these other people are going to vote to win MVP. And that's why I got a Matthew Stafford ticket because I don't think the NFL is going to pass up on the chance that this. I think Drake May has a legit chance to win MVP, but I think the league wants the storyline of Matthew Stafford.
My biggest argument is the MVP race. It's kind of similar to how the NBA's MVP races have been lately. It's do you really want to vote for the guy who's just super efficient, like Jokic has been, just ridiculously efficient? All the analytics say vote for him, but the only
reason Jokic doesn't keep winning it is he already has 3. He already went through the whole 1, 2. We don't want to give him 3 in a row, so we'll give it to someone else, and then he gets his 3rd. And I think he's already gotten I forget. I'd have to look. He might have a 4th already, but he has 3. He'll probably get 4, maybe 5 here before the end of his career. But they just don't give you 10 in a row.
Yeah.
This is the most efficient season we've seen from a quarterback, though. Up there with the efficiency, just the completion rate, all that. So it's boring. It's not the statistical high of 46 touchdowns. It is a boring season.
What I mean, though, is you could make the argument for Drake May and Stafford, and I could not argue that. Whatever case.
I think either is fine vote, and if you're at a tie, I think you should just go for Stafford. If you're deadlocked in a tie in your head.
What's Drake May's overall stats again this year?
It's 4,200 yards, 38 total touchdowns, led the league in completion percentage. And basically any analytical stat he led in
238 touchdowns.
And one of the arguments,
how many of them were rushing? 8?
8. No. Yeah, but 6 were rushing. He had 32 passing, 6 rushing.
Okay, that's good.
It's funny you mention that because they were saying that about Stafford.
It sounds like he had a very good season.
Yeah.
But then what does Stafford have?
Stafford has 46 total touchdowns, but his efficiency isn't as high.
He put up more points. That's the MVP.
He put up more points than he.
Yes, Drake May was good, very good.
But
he was not the most valuable because he didn't put up the most points.
The other argument I've heard is in common opponents, Drake May they had 6 common opponents, and Drake May outplayed Stafford in those common opponents. That's the only other argument.
That's more of a head-to-head argument. It's like, okay, so you're like, I can give you that Drake May might end up being a better quarterback than Stafford, but Stafford's having an MVP season.
They both are, and you can't win it. You can't both win it.
No, so it's I'm sorry. There's plenty of quarterbacks who've had 35, who've had less than 40 touchdowns and
for
yards, and not even been sniffing an MVP. Like,
to be fair,
that's why I had you give me the stats. It's like, okay, he has good stats. He's having a very good season. He's not having 46 touchdowns and 4,700 yards, the MVP.
He's second in touchdowns, is kind of the thing. Like, the touchdowns are very, very down.
Well, it depends on what stat you look at, because obviously Matthew Stafford doesn't got rushing yards, and Drake May does. But Matthew Stafford leads the league in yards from a quarterback perspective. So then it becomes, like I said, you can make an argument for either one of these guys. To me, it's almost like that the year they decided to give Kobe Bryant the MVP, where it's like, yeah, he probably should have gotten it some other time, and this just conveniently is the season we can give it to him, so we will. Like, maybe Matthew Stafford should have had an MVP at some other point, or that, like, Super Bowl run, he should have got more credit. But this is his, like, his last big hurrah. This is the time we can actually give it to him, so I think they will.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't care what they're going to do in the grand scheme of things.
And by the way,
it was a fun race. It's a fun season, most of all.
They can give it to both of them. They could have a tie and give it to both of them.
They have done that before, yes. It's so unlikely to get a tie with how the voting is.
I agree with Gov. I don't really want a tie. It's kind of lame. I'll just go a step further. I think the whole thing is lame. I think all the awards are lame. I think they don't mean anything anymore. Go ahead, Gov. You were going to say something? No. One thing
this is the first time I've actually looked at all of the spreads and everything for the slate.
Well, I wanted to get your opinion on the Panthers. I want to bet them, but I think the number will get better. Am I wrong? Should I bet it like tonight, tomorrow? I think it could get to 10.5.
Is it already there?
Oh, it's at 10.5 right now. So maybe I should. I'm just trying to get the best number possible, and I don't know. At some point,
people might bet it up, but you got to also remember, people are going to remember that Carolina beat the Rams earlier this year. Carolina is at home.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They are at home. We saw another big number. I think it was one of Marshawn Lynch's beast mode years, where the Seahawks were like 10-point dogs and covered. So I don't expect the Rams to lose, but I do think it'll be a close game. I'm starting to think 10.5 is too much. Because I thought about betting
10.5 is too much too. But the second I bet it, this is when the Rams will have like another like Matthew Stafford MVP game, and we lose just like we've done. Because we also lost 40-0 to. See that's where it goes. A common opponent. Drake May beat Carolina 42 to like nothing, and
the Falcons.
Matthew Stafford lost 30 to something.
Well, that whole division has been funky because the Falcons, to Donnie's point, and beat the Rams, but then the Panthers not only beat
New England is like the only good team that we didn't beat. Otherwise, we beat most of the good teams.
Or is that a sign that New England isn't good?
It could be, but I mean, to that point, the Panthers have been very.
Well, the other playoff teams that we lost to were the Niners on Monday night and Seattle.
Oh, so that means the Patriots are great. Not good, they're great. That's what you're saying. I see what you're doing, Remy Gov.
Donnie, you and Gov are math guys. The Panthers have to drive you nuts because at some points they've looked terrible, but then at some points they've
lost twice to New Orleans.
Yeah, but then they blank a team like the Falcons. They don't just beat a Falcons team.
They're 30-0. Yeah, no.
Yeah. They crushed the Rams. It's the most confusing. This is the most confusing NFL season I've seen in a long time.
We beat the Packers.
Yeah.
And some of your inconsistency makes sense because, like, oh, you got a rookie receiver leading your target leader in McMillan, but he's also been really good at points. So it's just
he's the rookie though.
Yeah.
Like, so, I have hopes, but like I also realistically know this is a stepping stone year. Hopefully we can learn from this playoff game and take it into next year and do really well.
I think everyone will be asking, like, what game would you guys want to watch? So I'll ask the opposite end of that question. Like, what game do you most want to turn off of this slate? Like, if you had to miss one game.
I could never.
What's it, Donnie?
I could never miss a playoff game. Come on.
I'm going to force you. You got to in solidarity for Gov. He's going to miss one. Which game are you missing with him this week if you had to do it?
If I had to do it, I'm just missing the Panthers thrashing. Like
See, I'm excited for that game. I don't know. I've always been a Drake May guy. I kind of like that Rocky storyline. I've always kind of cheered for the Cinderella story in March. So maybe I'm glutton for punishment, but I think that's actually one of the more exciting games for me.
If the Panthers keep it competitive, it's exciting. I will say, I'm just curious as to what the hell's going to happen in that Steelers game. That's one of the ones that I really can't wait to digest. I don't know if it's going to be good. It might be the worst football ever.
I'm with you because I want to watch it. It's either going to be a disaster and like you're going to get to like Tomlin, the voodoo magic finally wears off, or like it continues. I just feel like wacky, got to see moments are going to happen in that game. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be like watching.
And it might be Aaron Rodgers' last game.
Yeah, it's going to be. Like,
the great thing is this is the playoffs, so if you have it, you're laying it on the line. If you've been holding it, like if Philly has been holding off Barkley this year because they gave him so much, and now he's ready for 30 carries a game during the playoffs, that San Fran Philly game could be crazy.
Look, I'll give away a bit of my DFS strategy this week. I am going back to it one more time this season because it might be the last time I get to do it in a while. I still think Brian Thomas can be a weapon for this Jacksonville Jaguars team. He owes me money because I believed him in best ball. I feel like he's still like a superstar level player. He hasn't played at that level. That's the kind of stuff I love. Is like that guy that's not played very well or has been underutilized or not really shown the light, and then all of a sudden has a big playoff moment. Like those are the kind of things I look forward to. If I had to turn off a game, it would be the Packers and Bears, just because I don't know what to expect from those teams. I mean, the Packers would have been fun with Parsons, but they're injured now. Maybe it's because they rested their guys, so I'm just not used to Jordan Love again. Like, because he should be good. It's just like that's probably the matchup that has me least interested. But maybe that's just because they're in my division and I've seen them so much.
You don't like rivalries. I think this is like God, I can't remember the last time these two teams played each other in a playoff game. I don't know if it's ever happened in my life. No, it would have been like that year the Bears went to the Super Bowl against the Colts. That would have been the last time.
That is true, though. Some people are going to hype this matchup up just because of the tradition, because of the rivalry, and it just like from a DFS perspective, I don't know. Maybe it's fantasy points expected. I expect so many points like Gov out of that Jacksonville Bills game, and I don't know. If I had to take a nap, I think it's during Packers. I don't really want to miss any game, though. I think actually what I do think is this will be a really fun playoffs to bet on, to watch, to just enjoy, because I do think we'll get a first-time Super Bowl winner. And, like, we got some interesting matchups, Kansas City being out of it. There's some new blood. There's some new interesting guys. Could be some interesting things as well.
I have no pick on, like, who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, and I don't remember the last time I felt like this way. This Super Bowl is so wide open. I don't like the 2-1 seeds. I think the 2-1 seeds are frauds. I don't know what I believe is going to happen.
That's why I'm really excited to bet it, because I don't think that the market really knows what, like if KC was in here, if there was because like there's some historical stuff in here. The Eagles are in here, the Packers, the Bears, some historical franchises. The 49ers always find a way. But I don't think there's one team that's really favored. I think a lot of people like the Rams as the best team in the NFC. And, that's probably true, but like I don't think anyone's far and away better than each other. So it creates a good playoff.
Everyone has at least one major flaw.
I think Chicago is by far the worst team in the playoffs, other than Carolina, at least NFC-wise.
See, I think you can get like 10% of fans to believe that, and then there's like 10% who believes that there's a other worst team, like at every side.
Yeah,
we don't know. It's.
I do think the viewership's going to peak though, because like you said, that game might be one of the worst ones, but it's a rivalry, and like the fresh matchups, I think are going to get people to tune in. Is there anything that you guys want to mention before we get out here? Any like DFS strategy? Anything we haven't touched on? Like just a primer, kind of warm up before, because I mean, next time the guys see us, we'll be building lineups. We'll be talking. I guess that's another point before we close up shop. Is what lineup are we going to be building on the show? It doesn't matter to me. You guys, we can build showdowns if you want. We can build a 6-game. It doesn't matter to me, but just so we give the people some content.
I would assume
captains for each showdown. I can already give you a preliminary.
Okay, what do you got?
So first game, Devontae if he plays. Otherwise, Tet. Game 2, Luther Burden or Romeo Dobbs. Parker Washington or James Cook. McCaffrey or Barkley.
Yeah.
Well, Kittle or Barkley. And then scroll down.
So you would fade CMC as a captain?
Yes, I would fade CMC at captain and play Kittle or Barkley. I would still have CMC in the lineup now. All right.
To be fair, if you don't have CMC in that lineup, you should just be playing the Eagles defense because, like, if CMC fails, that offense was awful.
Or you got to get rid of
Hunter Henry or Ladd McConkey.
I think it's Diggs for the Patriots, but
I will say Ladd's very sneaky in the 6th game too. I think he's mispriced. I think he could have a big playoff run.
Jonnu, Woody Marks.
Ooh, you're going value captain for the Steelers.
You got to be able to forge Stroud and Nico, and then
is Metcalf back for the playoff?
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to play Stroud, Nico, DK, Rodgers, and then you got to have your cheap captain.
Yep, Arthur Smith is going to have all his weapons ready to go. So you know he's having Jonnu Smith do crap.
That actually works as like a sneaky good play.
Realistically, it's probably Gainwell, but Jonnu Smith.
The sneaky 6-game I'll say for my sneaky plays I'm looking at right now, just as a rough draft, would be Woody Marks and Kelvin Austin are like my cheap guys to kind of hopefully get through, and then you can afford that, the studs after that. I will say Ladd McConkey is also like weirdly priced. I think he's like him and QJ are basically priced the same for the 6th game, and I think Ladd's a lot better of a player. So I know QJ.
I think Ladd's gonna not get the Gonzalez coverage too, so that's
I was thinking QJ was getting the Gonzalez coverage, just body-wise, it makes sense. Keenan will get Marcus Jones, and then Ladd will probably get Carlton Davis. Would be my assumption.
There's reasons that Ladd is priced that way. He hasn't had a great season, but I feel like he's one of those guys that could have a bigger playoffs than he had during the season. I guess that's kind of the Brian Thomas hope for me as well. Donnie, you got anything for the people before we get out of here?
I said it to you. If you are playing Showdown, especially for the Patriots Sunday night game, if you think the Patriots will run the ball well in the flex, just put Efton Chisholm in the lineup. He's going to be on the field run blocking, and if the run's working, play action will happen. If you do not think they will run the football, if you think the Patriots' run game will fail, you just play Stephon Diggs. Don't get cute.
I haven't looked at the Showdown specifically because I've been focusing most on the 6-gamer. How much is Chisholm? Is he like 1,000?
I don't know yet, but I can't imagine he's more than 1,500. If he's more than 1,500, I display him. I rescind that statement if he's over 15. But
fair enough.
That's where I'll start off on that. Like, if you think they can run, Efton Chisholm will be on the field and he's an okay play. If you think the run game fails, just play Diggs. Diggs got 1,000 yards this year. It was sneaky, but damn it, in the big games he showed up.
It does seem like when they need the throw, they are looking for Diggs as their primary target. That's all I really had for this week, though, in terms of review, in terms of preview. We'll be back with you guys for the lineup builder. Oh, by the way, speaking of, just to give you guys a quick shout out, I saw all the likes. We got over 200 views on that last video of that lineup builder. I thought it was kind of thrown together quickly. I thought we could have done better. Unfortunately, Donnie had to go to work, but it seems like you guys still really appreciated it quite a lot, so I wanted to give you guys a quick shout out on that. And then hopefully you'll be able to join us. I think we'll be able to do that again on Friday. We'll decide what lineup we're going to actually build, and hopefully we'll give you some strategy. But for now, we'll get out of here. Good night, guys.
Peace out, everyone.